that to an average person, unfortunately, the Industrial Revolution destroyed much of human potential. Because with the coming of the Industrial Revolution, human beings now had to be cocooned into silos of professions. So people began to forget what their talent should be and what it can do, and focus on what profession they should join. So literally, many of us chase our professions. And oftentimes, that is why a crisis sometimes happens when they fire you and you no longer belong to the profession. That's why a crisis sometimes happens when you retire and you no longer belong to a profession. You literally don't know what to do. And because the school develops you into a professional for a particular vocation or profession, the challenge that comes with that is that when you graduate and there's no one to offer you a job, then you are completely finished. So majority of us go into university with one prayer, with a hope that when I graduate, I'm going to be employed. Right now, if I asked many of you what you plan to do after graduation, your plan begins and ends with looking for a job, which is a good thing. But the question is, if there is no job, then what? So you find people that move around and they have a degree, which now is not being used for work, but which is being used to explain their situation. Why you see me like this? Just imagine I have a degree, but there is no job. And that's year 1. Year 2, again, you find them explaining. You see, now it's 2 years down the line. Year 3, you find them explaining. And I meet a lot of people who are using their qualifications to explain why they are the way they are. And they have all the statistics on unemployment. Tell you how many people are not employed, how many people were employed yesterday, last year, how they were missed in that recruitment, and now is coming. And I can't blame them. Our education decided to turn us into people that should fit in the industry. The industry decides which professions are relevant and which numbers it can accommodate according to that economy. And therefore, if the numbers, for example, if you go actually in public service, there is what they call the establishment. So if you go in Ministry of Health, there is the establishment. It has the number of doctors who should be employed, the number of nurses. Then they have a strategic plan that shows how many will be recruited by which year. And I doubt if your prayers can expand the number. So they'll decide and say, next year we are employing 3,000. Now, if you are not employed and you have done nursing, what next? If you are not employed, you did teaching, what next? God gifted us with talents. Talents can be used in employment. Talents can be used outside employment. And that is why those that are wise, apart from getting an education in anything, they develop their talents. Because a talent will redeem you any other day. Talents are not cheap. I'll tell you that my talents pay me more than my qualifications do. I can be invited to speak at a conference and do a training, a one-day training, and walk away with 150,000 kwacha for speaking from 8 maybe to 12. Now, nothing wrong with work, but I'm emphasizing to you what talent can do. Actually, I'll tell you that even much, until maybe recently, much of my movements are around talent. Talent has made me to fly around this world. Talent, even now, I have a speaking appointment coming in the Copper Belt, I think in March, and these guys called me, themselves, even me without telling them anything. They said, Doc, we know you are a very busy man, so we'll fly you from Lusaka to Ndola, you speak to us, we fly you back. And of course, they'll pay for that. That's talent. By the way, the highest paying thing here on earth is talent. It is people that are talented that are the most high paid. You can't give me one professional who gets more than a footballer. And by the way, I understand even football. I am a performance consultant to Red Arrows. Red Arrows Football Club is Zambia's #1 football club, the ZAF club. They are #1 in the Super League, which is the Premier League. Well, I'm not even a football fan. If you put me on a pitch, I don't even know which number I'm playing. When we used to play in university, because we had to play those inter-classes, Elder Kwenda here knows. For me, I'll just say, which direction are we taking? This direction, okay. So the one in blue is an enemy, the one in red is a friend. Let's begin. But because there's a talent and a skill that I have developed, teams like Red Arrows feel I can contribute to their team, and I offer performance consultants. And I know that those brothers are very well paid. And they are footballers. So talent can actually sustain a person. And God gave us talents twofold. One to minister for his work, the other side to... So let's begin by asking, how many of you know their talents? You could even not know, but you just suspect that that's your talent. You can raise. Okay, so I see a few hands. How many of us don't know their talents? Okay? So it is important that you know your talents. The last time I came to speak to you, I spoke to you from Matthew 25. So we'll quickly read through there just to build background. But today we'll not stick on Matthew. Today we'll be in Daniel. So let's go to Matthew chapter 25. Just quickly to build a premise for our discussion. So in Matthew chapter 25, we find the context that tells us about talents. That God has given every person a talent. And you must discover your talent. So Matthew chapter 25. Beginning from verse 14, the Bible says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servant and delivered unto them his own goods. When you read there, it says, unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to every man according to their several abilities." And last time I think I explained this. There might not be need to explain it now. So God portrays himself as a master who distributes his talents to all his servants according to their ability. One receives 5, one receives 2, one receives 1. But the principle is everyone has been given a talent. Then we read and we realize that later on the master comes back and his expectation is that they should have multiplied their talents. And the one with 5 has multiplied, he gives a good report. The one with 2 has multiplied, he gives a good report. The one with 1 is the one who came with an explanation. No, sir, I did not multiply. I dug and I hid the talent. That's why we are talking about people that have been digging and hiding their talents, while others are building their talents. And we are told that God says you are a wicked and lazy servant. So one of the contributing factors to failure to develop your talent is laziness. Talent development requires hard work. Even before I go far, just know that talent development requires hard work. The last guy was condemned and the master explains. He says, you lazy and wicked servant. You are wicked because you don't appreciate what I've given you. Lazy because you have done nothing about it. Many of us don't appreciate the talents, the skills, the gifts that God has given us. And many of us are lazy to develop them because we are told that talent will take you to dark places and very few are willing to go to those places. So if you see a man talented in anything, I'll give you as an example. If you see me speaking here, you must understand that there's serious investment behind this. Do not assume I just stood here, picked a microphone and started speaking. No, sir. There's a lot of investment done in this, intellectual investment. I move with my books. Even when I come to speak here, I sample a few. If you go in my car now, you see books. Right now, my bed, I forgot my clothes. I came with my books. My pastor here knows. That's how serious I am with what I do. Literally, I just remembered that I forgot my clothes when I was in this dust road. So then I look behind and say, where are the clothes? I call my wife. She says, you have left them exactly where they were, right in the sitting room. I said, a lot of that, and it requires a solid education, and I've done that for myself. So I can stand on any platform and speak. I talk to very high-level platforms. That I'll tell you. Last year, I think, there are concepts, there are things we are doing to develop this nation. I was giving a talk last year, Minister of Science and Technology, giving a keynote presentation there, concept paper on development of a doctor of pharmacy, which the country is introducing to speak to the pharmaceutical strategic plan under Minister of Science and Technology. Because the president wants this country by 2030 to be a pharmaceutical hub, servicing the whole region. And I'm the one who was leading in that presentation. This is a meeting where the people that sit there is a manager from the Presidential Delivery Unit, PSS and everybody else. Now you don't just wake up and say, PS, even me, I have something to share. You know, I don't know. After the brother, maybe I can come in. That's not how it works. There is work that is put in behind the... So he says, you lazy and wicked servant. Many people are lazy. And I'll tell you without mincing my word, Africa and this country in particular, I know you'll have to be flattered that you are hardworking. It's because of lack of exposure. That's why you have come to that conclusion. Ask anyone who is exposed. They'll tell you that we have abundance of laziness here. When you are not exposed, the only hard work you have seen is your uncle, who wakes up at 06 himself, and you wake up at 8. You're like, but people in my family, they are very hardworking. You need to go to economies like Nigeria and see how the Nigerians, even talking, the Nigerians always sound like they're arguing. Voices are on top there. You and me with this humility of Zambia. Where my leader, my leader. While you are doing that, the brothers have concluded they're on the next agenda. They are fast and aggressive. Southern Africa, people are sleepy around here. I'll tell you, I've been around these places here. It's the same thing. Actually, maybe here in Zambia, you're even a little bit aggressive. Namibia is being helped by the white population that is still there. Otherwise, remove those whites, it would be a sorry sight. I reached there, even their station. You come with your bag, they're just watching you. I'm like, these brothers should come to Intercity, where people will pick you. You are heading to Chadiza, they put you on a bus to Mazabuka. By the time you say, where are we going? This one is going to Mazabuka. People are fast in Lusaka. In Namibia, people are like, where are you going? I'm like, their taxis are calm, everything. They don't even have these to my buses for what? There's no such a thing in Namibia. Unless if now, I was there in 2022 in Windhoek, they don't have anything like that. No booth. Very clean and organized and calm. Malawi here, I've been in there. Same stuff. People are chilled and peaceful and everything. You go to East Africa, go to Kenya, go to Uganda, then cross over to West Africa and go to Nigeria and Ghana and see what young people are doing. Their aggressive nature, even how they talk. Here we are too comfortable. We are too comfortable. And yet there is nothing comfortable about where we are, but very comfortable. We are ready to explain anything, to explain our situation. Others are working themselves out of their situations as we are explaining the situation. No, we applied, they left us. Even this time they left us. Then the comforters now begin comforting. Don't worry, the other recruitment that is coming. And we are waiting for the other recruitment, which is coming after how many months? 12 months. Our friends are aggressive. They thrive anywhere. You see, one of the people we have interacted with in business are these guys called Harvest Group of Companies. You have seen them, Harvest filling stations in Lusaka there. They are also the guy behind Le Bambam restaurants. Those are Nigerians. They are fast and ready to do business. How we got into meeting with those people in business is one of the days I'm driving somewhere with my young brother. We stop at one of the quick shops by Harvest. And when I go in there, I'm buying things. When I come out, a Nigerian woman greets me, says, "How are you?" I said, "You look familiar." I don't know whether I looked familiar or it's just a strategy as a business person. Says, "Oh," we begin to say, says, how was the service when you bought here?" So I begin to explain to her. I say, "I like the service and what. Then she tells me she's the quality manager for Harvest Group. So she wants to get first-hand information from the customers. Immediately she gives me a card. She says, "You go to our next restaurant at what. That's how I came to know that Le Bambam is part of the group. She says, "Go to Le Bambam, just show them this card. Let them give you free drinks or tea. It is on my card." I said, free tea, free drinks. Let's go to Le Bambam. And we went with my young brother. And we reached there. The next day she calls me. "How was the service there?" I tell her how the service was. She says, "Let's meet by the other Le Bambam by Lewanika Mo." We met there. They are ready to do business. When she comes, she brings 2 other line managers. And we are already discussing business. But I know how I would find a Zambian shop. Somebody on Facebook. "Do you have Colgate?" "What of milk?" So it says, "You lazy and wicked servant." I hope if there is anything that you should have, that we should exhaust out of your life, it is not demons, it's laziness. When you are lazy, you begin to present with the demonic symptoms. And people might think you are possessed. No, you are just lazy. Some of the people we take to prayer band and say, "Cast the demons." No, they are not demons. The brother is just lazy. Why his life is going down? It's because the brother is lazy. And you know, when your life is not working, you present with everything, including clinical conditions. No, he needs prayers. No, the brother doesn't need prayers. I told you yesterday, for me, I'm very careful. I pray for very few people because most people don't need prayers. Brother needs prayers. Why? He has no job. I say, no. First, let's establish why he has no job before we pray. Then we realize the brother is disorganized. His CV looks like a funeral program. Born, school. Say, this CV can't get you a job. So let's work on your CV. Do you have a cover letter? Same cover letter applying for different jobs. How do you get a job? So we put those things in order. We apply. Next to the brother has been picked. Would have wasted our time praying, made our knees painful for kneeling. So me, I kneel for things that need prayers. Many things don't need kneeling. Says lazy and wicked servant. Now when you read there, it shows that everyone was given. So if there's anything we agree on this afternoon is that we have all been given talents. Now what I want us to discuss this afternoon is how do you develop your talent to a point that it benefits people, benefits you, and gets you recognized by the right people. It is important in life for you to be noticed by the right people. Some of us, why we are not moving in life is because we are ever noticed by wrong people. Who even when they notice you, it contributes nothing. Let me tell you, it matters who notices you. It matters who notices you. When you sing here, it matters who notices you. Who notices you can determine whether next year you are single or you are married. Just as you are standing here, who has noticed you? Who notices you can determine whether you are getting a job or not. Who notices you can determine whether you are coming out of poverty or not. I should tell you that Joseph was interpreting dreams in prison and nothing was happening until he was noticed by somebody working at State House. If your talent is not noticed, you may continue interpreting for prisoners. It is important for you to ensure you are noticed by the right people. Joseph would have continued as a prison interpreter. Say, what of you today? What did you see? No, rats were running around. That dream means this and this. What of you? No, they were feeding me while I was sleeping. That means this and this. In the prison. But one day, he interpreted for a guy who worked for State House. The guy noticed him. A crisis happened in State House. The guy says, I know a man. He is in prison right now. That guy can be of help. They say, go and bring him. They bring him. And in the twinkling of an eye, his life changes. So we want to look at talent development. How do you develop your talent to a point where it catches the eye of right people? So that your talent is not a waste. How do you do that and grow your talent? So we have all agreed that we are all talented. We have all been given talents. Now let's go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 1. That's where we are going to center much of our discussion today, as we are looking at issues of talent development. Now, the Bible begins there with the story of the captivity of Judah. You read there, in the 3rd year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord gave Joachim, king of Judah, into his hands, with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar to the house of the gods. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. Verse 3, and the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, and he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes. Now, today we are going to look at how do you become relevant using your talent and skills, even your qualifications if you like, in a system that is worldly, to become relevant. We know this world is not our home. There are systems that run the world, but we are called to thrive in this very world and to influence systems, have an impact. How do you attain that? We have a case study here of Daniel and his 3 friends, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, carried from their motherland as teenagers to a faraway country of Babylon, which was a nation that was into idolatry. They are worshiping God, the true God. They are taken to Babylon, and they join a nation which at that point was the most powerful monarchy. Babylon was the superpower of that time. And you should understand that actually the crown prince, who was the son to Nebuchadnezzar, was on a conquest, going around conquering nations around. So you will know of the many battles you can read in history there between Babylon and Egypt and all the neighboring countries around there. That is Neo Babylon. That's New Babylon. And a lot of conquering was happening. And that is why Judah, which is on the western side of Babylon, equally is conquered, and these guys are taken into captivity. Now they go to captivity. When they go to captivity, this communicates a lot of things. To Daniel and the other Hebrew people that were conquered, it tells them that their God is not as powerful as the God of the Babylonians. Why? They have even taken vessels from their God's temple and taken to the other God. So which of the 2 gods is powerful? Biological interpretation, which of the 2 gods is powerful? If you claim you have a God, you have a temple, I have a God, I have a temple, I come and fight you. First I beat you as a human being, then I collect the things of your God and take them in the temple of my God, and nothing happens to me and my God. Which God is more powerful? My God. Then between you and me, who is more powerful? It is me. So Daniel and these Hebrew guys are taken into captivity. I should think that what was running in much of their minds is, where is our God? We have been conquered. His temple discredited. Where is our God? They are in a foreign land. When they reach there, Nebuchadnezzar decides, not only have we conquered you, we will turn you into Babylonians. So you read in there, we are told they were taught the language of the Chaldeans. In other words, they were taught the history, the philosophy, the ideologies of Babylon to convert them from being just Jews or Hebrews and turn them into Babylonians. Not only do they do this to culturize them, they even change their names. So you know their Hebrew names, and the Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego that you all know, all these are Babylonian names. And when you read their interpretation, each one of them was dedicated to a god of the Babylonians. Only Daniel maintained his Hebrew name. But even him, they gave him his name, Belteshazzar. And when you read, Daniel himself says, well, you can call me that, but for me, I call myself Daniel. So everything you read in Daniel, it says, I, Daniel, saw. I, Daniel, saw. Much as they tried to change his identity, he maintained his identity. So you have these guys in a foreign country, and they are living in slave quarters. They are living where slaves are living. And as they are living where slaves are living, amongst the slaves are highly talented boys. How do I know? Later on, when Nebuchadnezzar examined them, he found them to be 10 times wiser. So it is possible for you to be very wise living among slaves. Wise living among the poor. And if you don't do certain things, you will die a wise poor man. You will die a gifted poor woman, living in slave quarters. And numbers can't even help you. When you read the story of the children of Israel and their exodus, you'd know that they were more in number than the Egyptians. Actually, that was the concern of the Egyptians. They said, look, these people have become more in number than us. Let's do something about that. And they introduced population control. Population control didn't begin today. It started somewhere around there. So these guys now, where they are in the slave camp, something happens. Number one, Nebuchadnezzar chooses somebody to go hunting for talent amongst these guys that have been captured. His name Ashpenaz. So he says, go and bring from those people who have captured for me, people that are coming from good families, that are smart, that are quick to learn. He gives the criteria you read there. And Ashpenaz goes around identifying these. And among the people he picked was Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I'm here to mention you that the systems of the world are always searching for talent. The systems of the world are always searching for talent. You need to position yourself where Ashpenaz can see you. Now some of you are in places where Ashpenaz does not pass. So he can't even see you. So in the end you become a wise man who is languishing in slave quarters. And not only should you be in a place where Ashpenaz can see you, you need to make yourself visible. And that is why yesterday I was telling you to say, be the man or woman where? In the arena. It's because when you stand here to speak, Ashpenaz could be seated somewhere there. And that's why they say, that young man looks like he has potential. Let me tell you that the people that are running this world are not the most talented. Some of them were the most visible. I should tell you that Ronaldo is not the most gifted player on earth. Where I come from in the village, I've seen people who can dribble Ronaldo. Put one-on-one, they'll dribble him. We had this young man growing up by the name of Yote. He was the shortest in the school football team, but he could dribble the longest. When your tail holds the ball, if you want to embarrass yourself for one reason or the other, you have just woken up to say, today is that day on which I want to embarrass myself. Go and say, I have gone to mark your tail. And the young man had this bad manners where when you come to mark him, he will make sure that first he secludes you from everyone. Because you see, if you are being dribbled in the multitude, it is not clear what is happening. So the young man, when you come, he will take the ball to the side. Now you go there and it's as if everyone says, let's see what happens. And everyone withdraws. Now the two of you in the corner. And you better pray you are not as long as me. Because when you are tall as me, you can't even hide a tackle or a dribble. Because you see, when you are short, if somebody goes this way with the ball and you have missed, you are going this way, it's not very clear who has gone which direction. But when you are tall and the short guy goes this way with the ball and you have gone this direction, you come back, the ball is gone this side and there is dust. And after dribbling you, he will finalize it with a pommel so that the ball runs in between your legs. You look behind, your day is gone. Now I have not seen Messi dribble that way. I have not seen Ronaldo dribble that way. I have not seen Kaká dribble that way. And which other popular player? Who? Whoever you are mentioning, I have not seen him dribble as Yote could dribble. Unfortunately, you have never seen Yote. Why? Yote was not seen by Ashpaneth. You must understand that Messi came from his native country. There was an Ashpaneth, a talent hunter, who identified Messi and moved him from his village to where things are happening. When you read the lives of all these highly talented people, they were identified. Michael Jackson was identified, and somebody brought him to the stage. They were identified. The Bible is the same thing. When you read about David, David was identified. Yesterday we shared this. A man says, I know a young man, the son of Jesse. He is gifted. And what then the king says, go and pick him. There is an Ashpaneth who could identify him and bring him to the corridors of power. My question is there somebody who can identify you and bring you to the corridors of power? Some of you are very talented, but no one to identify you. Now don't say, yeah, you see, that's the thing. That's the thing. No one is born with people to identify them. You have to be identifiable. You have to make yourself identifiable. In other words, David was playing in an area where people could see him and go and report. Don't think Joseph didn't know that those guys he was interpreting for are from State House. He was strategic. I don't think those are the only two people who dreamt that night in that whole prison. But he realized that one came in, he stole some goats and he has dreamt. Even if I interpret what will happen. Then he realized there was a guy from State House. What a dream. You interpret for him, the news will reach State House. If your talent has to take you far, even here at Rusangu, identify key people who, if you catch their eye, your life can change. Identify key people who, if you catch their eye, your life can change. And make sure that you exhibit your abilities, your capabilities, and your talent to these people. So some smart young people here are finding a way of catching the eye of the Vice Chancellor. Because let me tell you, the Vice Chancellor can change your life in the twinkling of an eye. The Vice Chancellor can employ you if he wants by tomorrow here at Rusangu, and you have a job. Now you see the Vice Chancellor, this side. When the ghost of poverty is on you, you need to be not only baptized in water, maybe probably in water mixed with Savlon to say, come out. The deputy vice chancellor can change your life in the twinkling of an eye. The dean can change your life in the twinkling of an eye. and say, I recommend this young man to be taken by the university as a staff development fellow. Let us send him for his master's. He's exceptional. When he comes back, he joins faculty. So those that are smart understand who is Ashpaneth at Rusangu. And they say, that's Ashpaneth. When they see Ashpaneth, they, how are you, sir, Doc? Can I assist with the bag? No problem. So, Doc, how is home? Oh, well, what's your name again? No, Luvinda. Oh, Luvinda. What year? Third year. Oh, so what are you doing? And no, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. The next time they meet is now the dean who remember, Luvinda, right? Yes, Doc. How are you? Fine. And they are chatting. What year are you doing now? You are graduating good. What are your plans? No, we are pushing, Doc. We don't know how it will go. And what? Oh, okay. You come to my office on Wednesday. Wednesday he sits, begins asking him, where do you come from? Then now you give that story, because there you have to be strategic. You give that story where by the time you are finishing, both you and the dean are crying because of the things you have gone through. You know, the background, the what, and how you are pushing now, and everything. Well, before you finish it, the dean says, okay, you go, I've taken note. That's how big people say. They say, I have taken note, and that means everything. I've taken note. Now you, the only people that know you are in your class. And you are always known for the wrong things. Noise making, late assignments, leakages, and all those. Those who know you are also slaves in there who need redemption. Ensure that here at Rusangu you are known by who? Who should know you? Yes. That is number one for a talent that will be actualized. It is not only about having talent, it's about getting seen by the right people. There are people with big qualifications in this life and in Zambia who have not amounted to much, because the only person who knows that this person has big qualifications is the wife. When she's seated with other wives, she's like, my husband. You know, he has a certificate, diploma, and everyone is getting shocked. The neighbors like, really? Yes. What can your wife do with your degrees? Other than boasting in the council. But there are people with smaller qualifications, and somewhere a PS knows about them. Somewhere a minister knows about them. Somewhere a director knows about them. That is where, you know, that principle of secret rapture. It's not true, of course, we know from a theological standpoint. But you see, the Bible says one shall be taken and one shall remain. That is why you not just wake up and say, where is our name? He's gone. Where is he now? No, he's working with the minds. With the minds. They say people are not honest. So it means people were busy applying for jobs while we are greeting each other. No, they were not applying for jobs. There is an Ashpaneth who knows him at the mines. And we are not told that Ashpaneth was a relative to these guys. So it is not even about having relatives in big places. It is about being seen by the right people, so that your talent is visible. One smart young man, where is that young man who came and told me that he plays the flute? Are you here? Yeah, he's here. Wow, every one of you after service are like, that's sermon, that's sermon, that's sermon, that's sermon. To the room. This young, I just want you to know that I play a flute and I play liwakala. Now I even know his name. I play a flute and I play a saxophone. I just wanted you to know that. And I told him, young man, where do you stay? He says, I come from Lusaka. I said, when you are in Lusaka, give me a call. Ensuring you are seen by the right people. It's easy to get this young man. I identified one young man last year who is doing music, and we brought him to sing to a 2,000 plus young people who came for the National Education Expo. And immediately that put him in the national limelight. But there are people that are talented who are just playing for girlfriends. Say, baby, sit there. Make sure you are seen by Ashpeneth. Your business that you are doing, make sure you are seen by Ashpeneth. When Ashpeneth sees you, they tell you, with what you are doing, there's a tender that has been advertised this side. Apply for that tender. Or there's funding for small businesses. Apply for this funding. Or you come, there's actually some equipment we have stopped using. Probably you can use it. Be in the habit of strategically positioning yourself where Ashpeneth can see you. So it says, bring them. And that is how talent is identified. Now it says, children in whom there was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom. Now you see, these guys were not only identified, there are certain things they did that made them identifiable. And these are the things I want to run you through. How do you make yourself identifiable? So Nebuchadnezzar gives a criteria, and he says that these children should have no blemish, but well favored and skillful in wisdom and cunning in knowledge. Now when you read there, other versions will tell you that you needed to be handsome, well built. So the criteria of Babylon was also based on your looks. When talent is not well packaged, it is when talent is not well packaged, it is repulsive. You must know that if your talent will attract especially the eye of people that sit in corridors of power, that talent must be well packaged. Now here it says handsome, and somebody might say, but some of us are not handsome. Beautiful, say, but us, that department. Now here's the thing. The good news is that in 2025, handsomeness and beauty can be manufactured. Hallelujah. Yes. They can be manufactured as easily as knowing how to dress. And there are some of you that do not pay attention to your looks. Say, no, God judges the inside, not the outside. But so it is not God employing you, it is us. Us we judge and pay attention to your outside. Talent well packaged. Some of us that are highly talented, highly gifted, why we can't catch the attention of Ashpeneth and the people in big places, it is because the talent is not well packaged. How you look, the hairstyle. When you appear, the hairstyle looks like an incomplete experiment. So what's going on? Some of you have weird ways of mixing colors. A yellow shirt with a red tie and a blue trousers. When you appear, they say, this brother, what is he acting? Brethren, let Pastor Ronaldo stand up. Come in front here. Now turn and face them. This man can catch. You have heard even that Ronaldo. Yes. This man can catch the eye of Ashpeneth. Anyone would want to interact with him. Be it a young lady. Young ladies are seeing a potential husband. Employers are seeing a potential employee. This is how I would want people to look in my company. Because I know anybody who walks in will tell this is a serious company. This is how parents want their son-in-law to look like. Yeah. They can say that's our son-in-law. Now Mose. My pastor, you can take a seat. When you see in this life, if you will be treated better, learn to look like a prospect, not a suspect. Some of you, if a phone went missing in here, it's you who will suspect first. So because that brother, the way he looked, I'm sure he was going this way. If a phone went missing, can you suspect that it's Ronaldo who has stolen it? No, even people say, are you mad? Can he steal a phone, that one? But there's one of you where people, if somebody said, maybe that brother, they say, yeah, but even me, I was also thinking the same. Because you are looking like a suspect. If your talent will be identified by people, let me tell you something. The people in corridors of power are easily offended. They are sensitive to smell, sensitive to looks, sensitive to everything. And just how you look, they can cross and say, no, not that young man. And then some of you have to say, no, this is my style, this is the style I've picked. Let me tell you, when I'm still low down there at the lower ranks of the ladder, you have no business with style. Style is for the people who make rules. The vice chancellor can dress however he wants. He's the man who makes the rules. You understand? He can come for work even in gumboots. He's the man who makes the rules. He has reached where we make rules. Now you can't say, oh, but even the vice chancellor is in gumboots. You also come in gumboots. You will be judged by the system. So down there, look your best. Go and read the story of Esther so that you understand the power of looks. Go and read the story of Esther to understand the power of looks. So be deliberate about how you look. When you come at church, dress your best. Because Ashpeneth comes to church. Dress your best at church. Look your best. Dress as a potential. People get jobs from church. People get business deals from church. People find partners at church. When you look at how you are dressed, what do you think you can find here? A job, a wife, or what? And even if it's a wife, what caliber? By how you are looking. Human beings, we don't have x-rays that we are moving around with to check the heart. Say, don't judge me, just look at the heart. Human beings judge you by your looks. Don't be careless about how you look. Invest in some good clothing. Young man, buy some necktie. Get yourself a jacket. Looking smart has nothing to do with money. It's everything about mindset. Even when I was broke, I was ever on point. I knew where to buy second-hand jackets. When I buy it, it's big like this. I buy it from Simpson in Rusangu. If you have been there, Simpson. The jacket is like this because you know those second-hand jackets come from America. So I'm in there, hands have to be like this. Then I say from here straight to Kabata. I had my tailor there. Measurements. That is Wednesday. He does. The trouser also is big. He does his thing. By Friday, by Thursday, I'm picking them and taking them to the laundry. By Friday evening, I'm passing in the laundry and I pick the suit. The shirt also has been adjusted to a slim fit. Saturday, and you are standing there and friends say, good morning, brothers and sisters. It's good, amen. And everybody, the brother is on point. And from suit top there to down there, the whole budget, 150 kwacha. One time I found one brother, we went there. This brother was serious on negotiating. He was even negotiating a shirt those days for 2 kwacha. From 2 kwacha, he says, no, chosani koni. And you see, we get those things, we go and we adjust them. Looking smart has nothing to do with money. It's mental disposition. It is an attitude issue. That's why there are poor people looking very good and rich people looking very scruffy. It's an issue of the mind. Look like the future you want to have. Don't look like your past. Hallelujah. Yeah, don't look like your past. Look like the future. So in this world, your talent will not go very far because those people who sit in high places want people who can fit in their circle. There's a way you must look. So young man, young woman, begin learning how to dress here. When I go in these campus ministries, I normally tell them, don't show up on Friday Vespers with a chitenge like you are going for a funeral. We don't have an uncle who is dead. And some of you come with the tropicals and the chitenge. Wuzu, 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 wuzu. Oh, Jesus, my Redeemer. Who can identify you? You look like somebody who is going to the garden to water vegetables, but you are looking for a husband, you are looking for a job. That's not how people who should work look like. On Friday, as a young lady, you will put on your best of attires. My elder here knows me very well, because we come from way back. The things I'm saying here, he can confirm. There are two people at least who can confirm what I say in here. My elder here and the elder Kwenda there. Because they know me from Ridgeway. And they know my friends. We were smart young men. No money, but from the little we had, we bought the best and looked the part. And therefore, even at that young level, we were running things. Friday Vespers, young lady, you should look like a prospect. A prospective wife, a prospective employee. That is what you should look like. Young man, Friday, put on the best. You must be at minimum a shirt with a tie, tucked in, polished shoes down there. That is why some of you, even when they say, now let's lift the chairs, it is you they pick as number one. Because if we had the chairs to lift here, can I begin with him? No, say, my brother, you there, the one in the red tee, come here. So even the jobs people will give to you, they go according to how you look. It is only after they have made you lift chairs that somebody says, do you know that brother you made to lift chairs, he holds a master's degree? Sorry. Because you don't look like a master's holder. So look the part. Let's have a song. Our musicians, where are you? Let's have a song and then we'll proceed from there. Where are our musicians? Okay, please come. You guys were hammering in the morning. I loved the music. Okay, we can do one congregational singing. Then I want my brother to play his music. I enjoyed the music in the morning. So let's do, and our musicians there, do your thing as he's making us sing. Let's have a good time. Pick a very good song, not for a funeral. Let's sing the song. And then there let things happen. And then my brother will come in.
We're going to sing hymn number 10, Christ in Songs, Shall We Gather at the River.
Forever
There's a man here.
Rachel was a very beautiful woman, but she was not fruitful. Leah was not beautiful, but she was fruitful. Two sisters born from the same womb, but different in terms of blessings. One beautiful, the other one fruitful. 'Cause nobody has it all. Moses was a great leader, but he had stammer. Even David, the great warrior, but with a lot of mistakes. So blessed are those in Jesus Christ. They will drink from the living water. Be content with what you got. There's nobody who has it all. Blessed are those in Jesus Christ. They will drink from the living water. Be content with what you got. There's nobody who has it all. Don't envy someone's blessing. There's nobody who has it all. You may be struggling with a lot of things, but don't complain every time. Don't chase things you cannot handle. You may end up doing something wrong. Accept all situations and seek the kingdom of God first. Blessed are those in Jesus Christ. They will drink from the living water and be content with what you got. There's nobody who has it all. Blessed are those in Jesus Christ. 'Cause they will drink from the living water and be content with what you got. There's nobody who has it all. Nobody who has it all. There's nobody who has it all. There's nobody who has it all. There's nobody who has it all.
Let's just agree that Ashpanes has seen him. Because he has made himself identifiable. He has made himself identifiable. Many people here have seen him. And he's highly gifted. But I can tell you, there are also people as gifted as him seated here, who will walk Rusangu for 4 years and no one knows they are gifted. They don't have the courage to jump into the arena. Because in the arena you are going to be judged.